Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of What on Earth to Eat Now, especially to all our subscribers. If you do watch these videos and haven't yet had a chance to click that subscribe button, please do. It really helps us out, helps us to keep making these videos. So let's get to today's recipe. So today we're going to be making cannellini bean and rosemary soup. It's got loads of beautiful vegetables. It's really simple to prepare, and I'm going to show you how to make it. If you're looking for inspiration this Veganuary, this is a great recipe for you. Simple and easy, and so rich and warming, you're going to love it. The thing I love about this recipe is that we put all the vegetables in the food processor. So instead of chopping through endless vegetables, you just give it a few pulses and you're on your way to having a wonderful soup. So I'm going to start with just very roughly chopping through my parsley, just like that. It's going to really help the food processor to do that nice rough chop. And I'm going to put half of it in there. I'm going to do the same with my celery, just like that. Again with my red onion, just sort of in 4. Got my leek here. And my 4 cloves of garlic I'm just going to put in like that. You do want just a rough pulse here. It is worth mentioning, don't have your food processor going round and round because you'll end up with a kind of wet mulch. We're looking for just a quick pulse. And that's perfect. I'm just going to decant that into my bowl. I'm just going to do the same again with the other half of my vegetables. I'm going to do exactly the same with my root vegetables. So I've got my parsnips here, I've washed them and left the skin on. I'm just breaking them down a little bit, again just to help with the food processor. Got my new potatoes, again washed with the skin on. It's really not taking very long at all. Got my lovely celeriac here. And I'm just going to pulse them exactly like I did before. And that's perfect. Don't worry if there are bits that seem chunkier than others. You're going to cook this for so long that it'll actually be quite nice to have a little bit of variation. I've got my beautiful Swiss chard here, and I'm just going to take the leaves off the stems, just like so. I'm just going to roughly chop these stalks. This I am going to do by hand. And it's a lovely way of using up the stalks. Often when a recipe calls for Swiss chard, it just calls for the leaves, but the stalks are just wonderful as well. So I'm going to make them roughly the sort of same size and shape. And then I'm just going to chop through them. Finally, I've got about 2 tablespoons of fresh rosemary that I just chopped as finely as I could, so I have all my beautiful vegetables all ready to be cooked, low and slow for as long as I can. Like I said, it's very quick to prepare using the food processor. It couldn't be simpler. You do need to have a couple of hours, if not more, where you can be in the kitchen. Maybe you're catching up on some emails, or it's a rainy day and there's nothing else to do, and you just want to cook it for absolutely as long as you possibly can. The longer you cook it for, the more delicious it will be. And actually, when we're doing it, we do tend to cook more than we need. Just pop it in a Tupperware and put it in the freezer, and then you've got a few extra portions just to pull out of the freezer on a night where you don't feel like cooking. It really is a wonderful thing to eat. So I'm just going to heat 150 ml of olive oil in my pan. I'm just going to put my celery and onion mixture in there, like so. Give that a good stir. And a generous pinch of salt. Another one. It's good to season the base right at the start of your soup. Now for the rest. Just make sure everything gets coated in that lovely olive oil. And finally, my rosemary. Got my Swiss chard stalks here. So it's been about 45 minutes. It's starting to really cook down nicely. And I'm going to, at this point, add my Swiss chard leaves and my cavolo nero. Just simply, they've just been washed, and I'm going to put them in raw like that. And I'm going to let them cook down in my gorgeous mixture for probably about another 20 to 25 minutes. So you can see that the cavolo nero and Swiss chard have wilted down nicely. It's been about 20 minutes. And now I'm going to add my cooked cannellini. I've got 400 grams here, and I'm going to add also the liquid that they were cooking in. Just like that. I'm just going to add about 750 ml of boiling water. And I'm going to let this simmer together for about 40 minutes. The longer that you can cook it, the better it will taste. My gorgeous soup. I'm just going to finish it off with a drizzle of olive oil and a dash of freshly cracked pepper. Et voila, your cannellini bean and rosemary soup, deliciously warming and cosy and perfect for a day like today. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of What on Earth to Eat Now. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you again next week for another episode of What on Earth to Eat Now.